Kate Bishop and Spider-Man actually play video games together. That's awesome. The Avengers literally hang out like a family. Oh yeah, by the way, Wonder Man exists in this video game universe. Characters like Iron Man have suits like the Ultimate Armor, so he has different armors like the Ultimate Armor in this universe as well. So it is canon to the game's universe, for those that are wondering. It proves that this suit is not just cosmetic in the game's marketing place, but is actually canon to the game's lore. If I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, there isn't a whole lot to go off of, but I'll try my best. Obviously, the goal is to make it as close to comic accurate as possible, but this game doesn't have a whole lot to go off of. Basically, all the stuff here is just bare bones minimum. Characters like Kamala Khan can tear open side of limos with a push. Characters like Captain America are able to rip apart spaceship latches and throw it like a shield through a whole bunch of synthoids. Thor can crater grounds with raw power and make cars bounce. Demolishing large chunks of concrete ain't nothing for this universe's version of Thor. As you can see, this version of Hulk is able to smash tanks in the air. This has to be at least 60 tons, and this isn't really scratching the surface. He can throw this like it's nothing. Heck, being tackled through a steel wall ain't enough. In this fight with Abomination, people on his level, they tear up the environment as they fight. Collateral damage in these godlike beings is wake. Of course, he can slam people way bigger than him, of course. Black Widow uses guns. When this bridge was about to come apart, Hulk and Thor had to step up, thanks to Taskmaster interfering. Hulk grabbed this part of the bridge with cables. Notice how you have Thor right here about to help hold up the bridge as it's falling apart during the fight. This is a good shot of it here. You see him holding up. In the background, you see Hulk throw another tank. Like that. Widow strong enough to fight a being like Taskmaster that can move cars with his raw striking power, showing that she's probably superhuman too. She was able to counter him by turning invisible with her fighting skill. Leg takedown, cloaking tech comes in handy. She can mix her Widow's bite up with her punching power to send him flying with that type of power, knocking the concrete down. This bridge that evidently Hulk and Thor were holding together was the Golden Gate Bridge, an extremely heavy bridge. It kind of gives you a benchmark on their power. Like you can literally see it all about to fall apart, or most of it about to fall down. Thor was a part of this process as well. By the way, I googled the weight of the Golden Gate Bridge, and this is what popped up, almost 900,000 tons. Even if we assume Hulk and Thor didn't lift all of the weight of the Golden Gate Bridge because some of it wasn't being torn apart, let's say they lifted half of it. That would still mean they can lift over 400,000 tons. That's totally accurate to comics, so that's definitely believable. Same with characters like Abomination being in that range of power. Same with characters like Thor being in that range of power in this game. Hulk can lift big stuff like that with his raw strength. Heck, he used it in his fight against Abomination, slamming it on him over and over. Look at all the destruction he can cause with his strength as well. Iron Man has some decent blast power. Notice that. Notice Iron Man doing that. This universe's Iron Man has went through suit evolutions. Every suit that he upgrades, it can do better than the last suit can do. And this is his final in-game canon suit that he got during the story mode of the game. Of course, there's other skins, but those skins aren't necessarily canon to this game's lore, though. Did I mention he has a Hulkbuster mode that can kind of slugfest it with the Hulk, too? So he should be in that low-balling 400,000 ton range, just like the Hulk and Thor in this game's universe with the heavy hitters when it comes to this particular suit right here. Not to mention his normal suit can stun the Hulk anyway. His suit can take multiple blows from the Hulk, even in base standard state. Piece of the Hulkbuster can do that, though. When it comes to reaction speed, it can dodge plasma rifles. You know what I'm saying? Turning over tanks, can swipe cars away. Thunderclap can produce this much force. One can even say they can react to lasers, because there's bots that have lasers in this game. Thor can do that, and he stopped his bus from falling. Captain America can take out a room full of armed folk. He has ridiculous trajectory skills when it comes to throwing his shield, KO you with ease. And there's a power gap between characters like Ms. Marvel and characters like the Hulk. Well, she even kind of knows she's not on Hulk's level of strength. This little chase sequence, it was kind of implied that Hulk could rip apart the entire helicarrier, causing all this destruction. Yeah, ripping through pipes, walls, it doesn't really matter, just raw strength. That power, see what I'm saying? Just ripping the place apart. Too much power. Tries to punch him, that's a L. Give me the shield. I'd like to mention that helicarriers can weigh over hundreds of thousands of tons. I'm just saying. Yeah, they had to freaking get away from Hulk because he's too strong. Fly away. He has so much power, he can literally dig rubble out of the ground when he feels like it. AIM is the main villains of the game. You gotta respect them so you can get an idea of how strong these Avengers are to be able to take on these Same AIM droids. AIM has robots that can turn themselves intangible, for Pete's sake. And it's pretty quick. Captain can react to it. And other Avengers. Elite Sensoids even fire lasers. So this is the type of stuff the Avengers have to be able to react to. Standard Synthezoids can tear up machinery.
Robots that possess complex AI, capable of assessing the most effective application of their powers.
It's no secret that these two are the brutes of the team, but we're not even going to get on the brutes. Pretty much none of the things MODOK throws at them in this game can even handle Hulk or Thor to even the slightest degree. What we really need to talk about is the fact that Black Widow and Captain America can box some of their most elite Adaptoids or even Synthoids in this game's verse. The same goes for Bucky. He should be somewhere in the super soldier range like Captain America, but just with guns and similar stuff. Heck, his moveset even looks the same. He should be comparable to the other super soldier tier type characters like Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, blah, blah, freaking blah. Yeah, Black Widow had to literally box it out with a freaking Adaptoid. This whole game showed off her espionage and spy skills, sneaking into facility, infiltrating their ranks. They literally copied the Inhumans' powers and then Spirit Mental using their powers for Adaptoids and stuff. That's why the Adaptoids can do all this stuff.
Tough fight. Tarleton has an army of these things at his control.
Letting you know that these Adaptoids do somewhat worry her, but it's the fact that she still took it on. Monica literally felt like she had to pull out a mech against Black Widow. Like a mech like this. Didn't seem to matter because Widow literally boxed it out with a freaking mech. Imagine having a mech battlesuit with superpowers and Gatling guns and still getting them hands. How crazy would you feel? Yeah, Black Widow ain't no joke in this. The best way you get an idea of how strong Ms. Marvel is based on how big she can get. Like when you say her mass would equal her strength. She can become building size. She will be building levels of strong, aka being able to lift or punch with over hundreds of tons of force, wouldn't you say? Even Thor's blast power in this game is impressive via elements like wind. It's even implied with wind that Thor could blast apart a helicarrier if he wanted to. He can manipulate lightning, using a piece of the Odin Force, all that good stuff in this game's verse. Even summon a Bifrost for extra damage if he feels like it, for extra force. Like how he rests his hammer on the device. Hulk has no problem picking up these exoskeleton suits, even though they look as big as him, he can sling them like it ain't no big deal.
Chimera's still losing altitude. Thor, can you hold it up with wind?
Tear the ship apart.
That statement kind of backs up what I said earlier about them being able to lift over hundreds of thousands of tons. It kind of makes sense with his blast power being able to rip it apart as well. You know, there was a force field that Iron Man's Unibeam couldn't break through, yet Thor's Bifrost could literally bypass this with his raw power, Bifrost. Thor is the main reason why he was able to help this helicarrier in this occasion. Thor can kind of teleport thanks to Bifrost, and he doesn't need oxygen. And he can push stuff because he's strong enough to do that. When we're talking about super strength, the same should definitely apply for Jane Foster Thor. I mean, it's literally just a woman, female Thor. So yeah, whatever Thor can do and Hulk can do, she should be somewhere around that range of strength and power as well. Breaking through this door on this particular occasion, for example, just easily making paths for him. When Adaptoids try to come up on Cap, Hulk just comes choke slams them. And by the way, the events of these comics take place before the events of the Marvel's Avengers game, just for those that are curious about the comics lore. Even in comics that are canon to the game, she shows off her skills, Black Widow does. Some of the takedowns kind of being similar to what's in the game. You see what I'm saying? Working with Nick Fury on these type of missions or occasions, using the batons, just doing Black Widow stuff, showing her combat speed, and how she can just change the tide of the fight real quick before they can react. Imply to be able to react to bullets being fired at her at the very least, and kicking them, consistently showing skill. Boy is hurt. In this game's universe, Captain America has faced off against people like Batroc. Would have been cool to see him in the game as a boss battle, wouldn't it? Yeah, they fought using the shield, using trajectory, be able to react to bullets and block them with his reaction speed, all the things you would expect. When it comes to things combat related, strong enough to hold him with one arm, just super soldier type stuff. Metal thing that Batroc is using against Captain America is strong enough to punch it apart. And the classic Captain America suit is actually canon to this game's lore. That makes me feel better about it because I use that skin on the game anyway, the classic one, over the one they have in game. By the way, taking down Batroc, two consistently fighting and scuffling. Iron Man and company, or one could say the Avengers and etc. have fought beings like the Lethal Legion in this universe as a team, even including characters like Absorbing Man, Titania, wouldn't that be some cool boss battles in the game, even Whirlwind. Absorbing Man seems pretty strong in this game, fighting Hulk and stuff. Same with Titania. Widow still showing her agility though, dodging all these attacks. Iron Man maneuvering around while they're calling out different maneuvers. Thor hitting him like that, showing his Mjolnir speed kind of like swirling around him. Captain America saying orders, like they're really in unison. Like the Hulk's like a brick wall. This kind of gives you lore and background on what the Marvel's Avengers from the video game universe have done in the past, showing that they are a very experienced Avengers team in this game's timeline. Plus, look at all the area of effect Thor can produce, blast power-wise. Iron Man does have hand-to-hand combat training thanks to Widow. Spy Master, you sly dog, throws this stuff at Tony. Thought it worked, gave him some kind of discomfort, and of course this armor is definitely bulletproof, obviously. Still hits him regardless, night-night. Just like the comics, the games seem to be following the same trend of Hulk and Thor being like friendly rival buddies or something, or just comparable in power in general in their base states. This is evident because even in the comic lore, they find some way to have them fight each other, where the two have to get in a slugfest. Ain't that convenient? Look at that big explosion, destroying trees. Of course, they're both being cocky in their power, talking about Thor, telling Hulk you can't win, and then the Hulk responds with a thunderclap on his own, saying metal is nothing, Thunder God is nothing, Hulk is strongest ever. So they're both being cocky, just similar to comic lore, kind of causing mad collateral damage. All of this is because of none other than Loki, of course. Shouldn't have to show anymore. Just basic slugfest stuff like old day, like comic lore, showing that they're comparable in power, right? But Thor figured out it was his brother. More proof Hulk and Thor are right intently made to be in the same range of power, even in the Avengers game universe. In the new Spider-Man promotional content, it literally states that the Hulk will not let him die. Oh yeah, by the way, Hulk has fought Zaz in his universe of being a pure energy. Yet another boss battle that could have been in Marvel Avengers. These two slug it out, light poles. It kind of shows that the Hulk has some smarts. They even state, the Hulk is a creature of instinct. It doesn't know what this energy thing is, but it can tell that the water disrupted it, then continues to smash on it. And that settles that. The only thing that I know in this game that could really give these beings a tough time is when MODOK took control of was when the Kree Sentry appeared in the Marvel's Avengers game. Its overall blast power seemed to be insane and seemed to be a big threat in the game's verse. The Kree Sentry in the game was stated to supposedly create earthquakes. Even Tony Stark mentioned that it was the earthquake, aka the Kree Sentry. Notice how they had Hulk take on a whole MODOK ship on his own. Just going to town on the doggone ship on his own. Treating them like rag dolls. Ouch. As an Avengers group, they soften up the Kree Sentry bit by bit while MODOK's controlling them though, but this thing was kind of a tough thing to beat. Even Unibeam wasn't really cutting it. I would say they was able to take on the Kree Sentry if it wasn't for MODOK literally going inside of it and enhancing it even more. Thanks to his ability to literally do some technomorph. It kind of enhanced the Kree Sentry, making his blast power even crazier than before. Which is why when the Hulk came right here, he got hit with an extendedly long direct blast from it, even though he was ripping a piece of his eyes out. See what I'm saying? It kind of turned him back, though. So far, this is what we know what the limit is, but we don't know how hard these blasts actually are when it comes to attack power, though. Kamala's pretty strong. When the Kree Sentry tried to do that, she was able to do that. At this point, I think it's safe to say Kamala's like dang near close to the size of skyscrapers right here. What are her limits when it comes to raw power? Characters like Kate Bishop, she used quantum weapons and stuff, even enhancing her swords with quantum weapons. Even the man himself, Hawkeye, having tons of arrows, even guided arrows that can follow you on the battlefield. The man Black Panther himself, tons of vibranium tech, armored suit that's bulletproof, can take a lot of damage. She technically has no superpowers and just an archer, and infiltrated an AIM facility by herself, fighting tons of robots by herself with just a bow and arrow and some stolen tech that she used to help her teleport. Quantum arrows, arrow after arrow, shows hand-to-hand combat on top of it. Sword training from Hawkeye himself on some Nightcrawler stuff. Pop. Respect it. When it comes to fighting speed, I would say she's got similar reactions to Black Widow. Reacting to this attack, they literally fought a Super Adaptoid made by Monica that had like different abilities or skill sets from all the Avengers put together, like the hammer, the shield, and etc. The Avengers as a group, they was able to take down this being though. I think it's safe to say they have every arrow when it comes to elements. Pym particles, ice, electricity, quantum, you know, all that good stuff. AIM hired guns surrounded them in this occasion. Hawkeye and Kate was able to get out of this scenario, even though they got way more guns at them, showing they're way more skilled. Did I mention that Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man, is a part of the Avengers too, technically, but we can't play with him yet, though. He provides Pym particle arrows and tech for the group and stuff, even helping with the time travel stuff. Evident here with the ship. See what I'm saying? Hank helping out a lot. Kate Bishop and Hawkeye has even gotten a tussle with Taskmaster from the future. Letting you know, they should be comparable to him, both of them. Peak human stuff. Kate and Hawkeye have no problem going to town on AIM bots in the future as well. Electric arrows, Hawkeye, Kate, and old Hawkeye has even fought Maestro from the future. Couldn't really do much against him though via lore. They had a convenient arrows that could stun him. Let you know the power of these arrows, wouldn't you say? Even though I personally don't understand how a gamma arrow would actually harm a gamma being. Seemed like it would empower him, but that's none of my business. But yeah, they had a convenient arrow that was evidently his weakness.
This isn't working. Here, gamma arrow.
A gamma arrow hurts a gamma being. Hey, I can't make this stuff up. It gets worse because you see Monica grabbing the cosmic cube? Yes, that's right. We're getting into them fighting against beings that are wielding the cosmic freaking cube.
Cosmic energy contained within the cube would give the holder almost unlimited power.
Not almost.
The Avengers as a squad literally fought Monica with the power of the cosmic cube, working together with teamwork and strategies and tactics, was able to get the victory, even though she was making all these freaking clones. Oh, trust me, she was powerful. Look at the arrow. She stopped it on the spot thanks to the cosmic cube. Oh, gosh. It stated it was unfinished, so I'm assuming that's the only reason they was able to get the drop on her. The two Hawkeyes working together, or the Avengers in general. Somehow was able to get through a force field like she had up. I guess that wasn't a force field. That older Hawkeye kind of sacrificed himself. Looks like they went into like a black hole together. Looks like the Avengers at least have the cosmic cube in their possession though. They even stated, we place the power of a god in your trust. I'm assuming they're implying Ultron in the future game. Wakanda has advanced tech way beyond other world technology. Black Panther is a super soldier tier or higher in this game's lore physically, thanks to the heart-shaped herb and being blessed by the Panther goddess Bast. You know the comic lore, same stuff. His suit can absorb energy and redirect it back. If you don't overload it, you're going to be screwed. One could debatably say he's the best pure fighter in the game so far that we've seen, but that's up for debate whether you think he's a better fighter than Cap or Black Widow. He fought crossbones. He can throw vibranium spears, or even daggers. He showed his competence in his hand-to-hand combat fighting crossbones. You just can tell. Having Wakanda as an asset to the Avengers helps a lot because they have vibranium for days. Even the Dora Milaje are great fighters, each one of them. T'Challa even said, you didn't bring advanced idea mechanics to our doorstep. We've been swatting them like flies.
We've been swatting them like flies for weeks.
Makes you wonder if this game's universe has a Hulkbuster suit like the comic one. That would kind of put him up there with the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit at least. You can get an idea of Black Panther's reflexes. Claw seemingly disappears right here, but yet he's able to figure out he's right there behind him. Reflexes. Working together with Iron Man and Captain America. Very sharp reflexes. Yeah, he don't play when it comes to reflexes. Hitting combos. Hard to telegraph what he's going to do next. Slice arm like that. A Claw took control of their spider-like mechs. Yeah, their own defenses. This force field that was blocking them thanks by Claw, Black Panther was actually able to bust through it with his raw attack power, just like that. Storing kinetic energy, busting through. These giant mechs, of course, Black Widow can beat. Of course, Black Panther can slice them and dice them up. Like that. No arm for you. They was even able to take on Claw, a being that was purely made of pure sound. Like, how do you punch sound? With Iron Man, of course, and Captain America. Heck, they even tried to hit him in it. Nope.
Just right.
Do it.
They weakened them thanks to Shuri's help with tech and just countering sound with the Avengers on top of this. Lethal combination. And they still manages to take them on. Impressive, right? If somebody claimed that either Thor or Hulk were Planet Busters, I couldn't really blame them for thinking that. Mainly because Monica Rappaccini and the Avengers facing off against her, even though she had infinite power with the Cosmic Cube. And then you got characters like Spider-Man, who is pretty similar to his comic book counterpart as well. Stronger than normal humans by a lot. Literally dodging them without even looking at them, thanks to spider sense, precognition, basically, agility. Incredible. Web style. Epic. Like, he literally seems to be untouchable. Thanks to spider sense. It's kind of proven that Spider-Man has been in Wakanda in this game's lore, armor or tech upgrades possibly. Spider-Man in this game's universe haven't really got deep in depth with training when it comes to just pure fighting skills.
You've been favoring your right side when you fight. Opponents might exploit that if you're not careful.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, my combat training is kinda non-existent.
At the end of the day, that's just about going to do it, everybody. When it comes to this game, it's not much to go off of, but they're pretty freaking strong. But the game's lore never really got finished because the game is unfortunately ended. But What do you guys think? How strong are the Marvel's Avengers? Regardless of all this mess, thanks for the donations, everybody. Respect this version of the Avengers anyway. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.